Talking about Chef Netta, who is the owner of a farm to fork catering company. Farm to Fork Catering Company. Netta's Pantry. That's what's the name of it. She's a chef, a chef, nutritionist, and a food maverick. I love that. She loves to carry culture within her dishes and has a passion for food, justice, and rights. That's strong there. She recently graduated with her master's in food and nutrition from Maverick College and plans to advocate while feeding in North Carolina communities a colorful array of produce and local meats. And some of those produces we're looking at right now. But before we even start talking about what we're having in the studio, we're so excited. Welcome to the Sports Shop. Chef Netta, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning. Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm excited to have you here.
Yes, and thank you so much, Reese, for the opportunity. I had a wonderful time at that catering event.
Yeah, well, hey, and we had a wonderful time too because it was just phenomenal and just the spirit of what you shared with us.
Yeah,
caught my attention. So talk about that
Sure.
a little bit about who is Netta and all that.
Ooh. Well, as you were playing Outcast, I was automatically drawn to it because I am from Georgia.
Okay.
I'm from Lithonia, Georgia.
Okay.
And Childish Gambino just came out with a song called Lithonia.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we are on the map.
Very good.
But Outcast, that's where I'm from. So born and bred. Went to like my aunt's house, grandma's house, and Sundays was the time for us to have the feast.
Yes.
And so we enjoyed it, right?
Okay.
But what I noticed as I was growing up is the same feast that we were eating and that we experienced, unfortunately, they were dying from heart disease to diabetes. My aunt got her leg amputated. And at the time, they didn't really explain why. They just said she has diabetes and someone stepped on her foot.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the issue. But later I find out that it was just untreated and she just wasn't doing what she needed to do. And so as I got older, moved to North Carolina, met a wonderful man. He was a chef. And so we both had a passion for cooking.
Wow.
Unfortunately, in 2014, he passed away from heart disease.
Wow.
And this was not related to food. So this very contrasting differences.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so he was at the peak of his health. He was working out, but he had heart issues. And what I found in the hospital is that no one was there to really assist me. I felt very much alone. I was 33 years old. I would ask the doctor questions and they would not just looked at me like I was stupid. And so I found myself leaving with him before he passed away, but he came home at one period and he had new medication. He had had his gallbladder removed and he had a new diet. And all they did was give me a pamphlet and a brochure and said, here, figure it out.
Wow.
And so unfortunately, he did get readmitted into the hospital. And he did transition over. Wow. And so at that moment, I just remember sitting in the hallway saying, oh my gosh, I'm a widow. I have 2 kids and I'm a widow. What am I going to do?
30-some years old.
Yes.
Right. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And so I certainly couldn't but I couldn't continue being a chef. The hours are just not conducive to raise kids. They're just not. I love it. And so I went back to school. Yeah. And so I sit before you 10 years later with a master's degree in food and nutrition.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Wow. Just letting that sink in again.
Yes. Woo, powerful story.
I know.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the transition.
Sure.
Again, we talked to Chef Netta from being a chef to start doing your own thing. Talk about that process.
Oh, it was very much a God thing. I love to cook. I happen to have just a lot of catering, like utensils and shaping dishes in my house from when he would do it.
Right.
So before he passed, he actually had a passion with working with farmers. He would go to them and say, can I showcase your food? Can I come out there and cook it? So that way people knew what to do with it.
Right.
Because what I'm finding is people can recognize it, but what's the name? How do you cook it? For how long?
Right.
What does it taste like?
Exactly.
And so he created that exposure. And so I happened to start volunteering actually at a farm in Hillsboro. And they then knew my passion was cooking. So I would literally be in an open fire pit boiling potatoes, or we would go in the garden and like harvest okra or whatever, and we would just cook whatever we had.
Wow.
That was it. And so from there, the farm did retreats. So they were like, oh, can you just help us out? We got 10 people here, 20.
Sure.
Before I knew it, the business was on and popping.
You guys were really living off the land, as they say.
No, really.
That's good. That's good.
No, really,
Y'all
we were.
living off the land, like, for real.
Wow. So we are super excited talking to Chef Netta, who's here with so many goodies.
Yeah.
But let's talk about how you also took your passion for, social justice.
Yeah.
And food justice, as you call it.
Sure.
And equitable rights.
Yes.
How you bring that together.
Sure.
daily?
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm going to go back to my culture. Remember, I was telling you the food that me and my grandma and cousins would eat, right? My goal is to not get rid of that, because that is a part of me. And so many times people assume that because we are African Americans or minorities, that our food is unhealthy.
Yes.
That is not true.
Right.
It's just a matter of what we're adding to it. So the collard greens maybe don't have to have fat back.
Yeah.
Maybe they can have smoked turkey or no meat.
No, actually, that's a good point, because it's a bit different, but they taste very similar.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Even with the turkey.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I got a little special recipe where I add a little basil into my collard greens, and it gives it that oomph that you're missing.
Come on now.
Girl, I gotta try that.
Yes,
But first of all, what are you going to try? You can't even cook, Pam.
I got you. Yes,
Don't
yes,
be a man.
yes. But back to food justice. For me, going back to school as a single, I call myself solo mom, because I wasn't a single mom. I was a solo mom.
Right.
And I noticed that I had $20 to my name because I was in school, not really working, 2 kids. And I was like, how am I going to feed these kids something nutritious? We know that good food goes a long way. And so I was just like, I have the resources. I understand it. I went to culinary school. I have a farm that I go to.
Right.
And I was like, well, how can I use this? And with $20, I was able to create different meals each day for my kids. And from that, I teach that to other individuals.
Wow.
We have
Yep.
we have refugees that come to the farm, and so we teach them things. And I have a real passion for single parents, because it's hard out here.
Absolutely.
It is hard. And so you want to have somebody that has your back, and it starts with food. So my food justice starts there within the community, fighting for them, because food is a necessity. It is not like, something that is optional.
That's
we
right.
have to have it.
Man, that's so good. That is so good. Wow. We're talking to a nutritionist, a food maverick. I mean that every sense of the word, Chef Netta. So, but you pointed out a couple occasions about what we have in front of us. Talk to us about.
Sure.
Yes.
We up in the studio with real food, people. You watching it.
Yes.
If you're watching online or whatever, you can see it. But trust me, I'm gonna post videos on in a couple of minutes as well. Talk to us about what's going on.
Perfect. So what I always tell people, I work with kids a lot. What I always tell people is colors equal nutrition. And different colors represent different nutrition.
Right.
And so when we have a balanced meal, we often think that it has to have a carb or protein, maybe a vegetable, but we don't look at colors. And so if we taste the rainbow, as they say, we should be able to have it. So here, all of this is local from Hillsborough. The farm is called Spring Forest.
Spring Forest in Hillsborough.
Yes.
Okay.
And so something great that people should know is, even if you don't have a lot of money, there's a lot of farms that have community supported agriculture,
Very good.
or a CSA.
Okay.
This right here is going to cost you maybe $18, $20.
What are we looking at right here?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Wow,
Oh,
that's a
wow.
lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Not only are you supporting your local farmers, but you're also getting real, like, fresh out of the ground nutrition, and you're getting colors. And then guess what? I give you recipes. So
Really?
we can
take
cook along.
this and
No,
how many meals? Or-
Yes, you can probably. So I could get about 5 meals out of this.
Okay,
Wow,
so
for $20.
Unlike
Yes.
Pam, I can cook. So you may want to share the recipes with me, because I can make it happen. So real quick, run through what we have in front of us.
Sure. So we have some beautiful green onions. These things are huge, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Something that is a staple of Africa is a red okra.
Love okra.
Okay.
Yes, I do too.
That's good stuff there.
We have some beautiful cherry tomatoes.
Wow.
We have some peppers. This is a purple bell pepper. Differently from a green one. We also have here beets, and these are actually different color beets. So they're not your red. It's going to be more like a white and red in there.
Okay.
And I know you can smell this.
The basil.
The basil
man.
smells
It
good.
smells so good. It really does.
In culinary school, the chef I worked with was from Europe. He would always call it basil. So
we're going to start putting basil in our green.
We're going to start putting basil in our green.
We have some zucchini.
I love zucchini. I love zucchini, by the way.
All right. We have some yellow squash, which... If you're a Southerner, you understand squash casserole.
That's right. That's right.
And then here's something that is a little different. These are called shishitsu peppers.
Okay, don't say that too fast. Because somebody else. I'm just calling it pepper. Don't you get mad at somebody.
Shishitsu peppers.
Okay.
It is a Japanese pepper.
Okay.
But it's a great food pun for sure.
Okay. It really is. Wow, man. Wow. That's
I
amazing.
absolutely love this.
And then there's some cucumbers over here. If you want to pickle them, they're great for that.
Okay.
Or if you want to slice them up with a little bit of tomato, you know how we do in the summertime.
That's
little
right.
onions.
Yeah.
Okay. And I see something else down there. What else did you bring?
Oh,
That's exactly right.
I brought a special treat. So
wow.
I work with kids, and so I'm going to be going to a farm school. And I believe that we should still be able to eat sweets without the extra sugar.
Right.
And so this is a sugar oatmeal cookie that has been tossed with...
I can't wait to eat that.
Are you ready? It's tossed with a beet icing.
I was wondering about
what
the
kind of
red
icing?
Beet.
Like
beets. Like, give me a beet.
Wait.
No.
So then it's kind of good for
B-E-T.
you because beets are good for you.
They're a great source of antioxidants.
Yes.
Who else said you're
Excellent
going to have
source.
a combination? You're going to have a beet cookie? Really?
Right. And it's going to taste good.
With oatmeal?
With oatmeal.
And no
Absolutely.
sugar.
There is sugar, but
Just
it's
not
just
a lot. Okay.
it's not a lot, and I use mostly like honey or like molasses.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So more of the lower glycemic index sugars. So that's going to help with your blood sugar to not spike as much.
See, that's what I'm talking about. This lady here, man.
Wow.
You could be eating good and living good too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And still be about your culture.
Still be about your
Right?
culture as well. Yeah.
I love it.
Thank
Wow,
you.
Wow, man. So okay, this is unbelievable. People watching, listening. How can they get the same experience that we're having here right now?
Oh, great. So I am on social media.
Okay.
The name of my handle is Netta's Pantry.
Okay.
The reason it's called Netta's Pantry is because oftentimes when people come home, and I'm going to say mothers just because I understand, and the first thought is, what am I going to cook? And
That's right.
and oftentimes each kid has a different dietary restriction.
Right.
One doesn't eat milk. One, loves seafood. This one doesn't eat
Kind of like
beef.
me. I'm real finicky too. So yeah. My mom,
Funny business.
She has some challenges like that.
See, and that's a lot of work for the parent, the mom.
I know.
And so I created Netta's Pantry because oftentimes we don't look in the pantry. We often go into the refrigerator. We often dial a delivery service, which is okay sometimes.
Sure.
But when we're looking at food waste and food justice, that's a part of it,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Is we're fighting to make sure that we can eat.
That's right.
And so if we're throwing it away, we're adding to the 40% methane gas in the landfills.
Look at girl, you better come on. Keep talking. Go
And
ahead.
we talk about the ozone layer and warming, the temperatures. That's a part of it. Food is a part of it.
So they can reach you via social media.
Social media, Netta's Pantry. You can reach me Southern Roots by Netta.com
Right.
or Gmail, excuse me.
At Gmail, yeah.
Yes, at Gmail.
Okay.
And on my social media, I have a lot of recipes. Again, I deal with a lot of families, so making sure that it's easy, right? It's fun, it's colorful, and get the kids involved.
Wow.
Well,
I just put you up on our YouTube.
Yeah.
How to reach you.
So Netta, this was totally unbelievable. Thank you for showing us your gifts, bringing us your gifts,
That's
your talent.
right.
Thank you.
And Godspeed to you, much success, and anything that we can do to help you. And you got to help her too. Chime
Yes.
in, go out, she can get in. Have a great time. You can head it to the farm now, right?
I am headed to the farm. Yes, I am.
try
Reese,
to cook
Smith the Bird, Netta, and the whole crew. See y'all tomorrow. Let's go.